Good day, California. This is Zach Browning. Welcome to California Health and Fitness. We have an absolute packed show today. Welcome to episode 3. I can't tell you how excited I am for our first segment because I've heard so much about this website and this clothing company called MadeForThem.com, but I've only heard a few things about it, and who knows if those are just rumors, right? So you guys, with further ado, we have the founder of MadeForThem,
Andrea Shabaglian. It's MadeForThem.org.
Here, I want to enunciate that a little bit just so I say it correctly. So Andrea
Shabaglian.
Yeah, there we go. It's very important. It's your name. So tell us about MadeForThem.com.
.org.
I'm sorry, it's
That's
nonprofit.
Okay. So we are MadeForThem is a social enterprise, a nonprofit, using fashion to raise awareness and combat human trafficking. So we have a mainstream clothing line, everyday wear for men and women, and we use that to educate the masses and the population about what human trafficking is, and then we use the resources to provide services for survivors here in the Central Valley. So we offer one-on-one counseling and group therapy and job training and so forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do this? This is an amazing project. I mean, you have the funding, you kind of have a great business model here. It's not just like a give me donations and we'll go from there, right?
Well, right. So that's our whole goal, is that we were a self-sustaining model using a business model approach and really using something that, fashion, I mean, it's very acceptable, really sort of in any, genre, in any crowd, in any demographic. So we can really reach a larger demographic with our message and also reach a lot larger support. So it was a vision that I had for about 8 years, and I really wrestled with it. Like most people, I didn't know much about human trafficking. I sort of assumed it was this one little thing, and it was sort of like the sexual exploitation side of women and children is really what I imagined. And then towards the end of the 8 years, I kind of really became burdened and heavy by the topic. And I had this idea, and I really wrestled with myself. How do you have an idea and you have a cause that is horrific and absolutely horrible, and you have an idea about, making a difference. And so really it was something I prayed and I wrestled out with the Lord, and after 8 years He said, yes, go for it.
Wow.
And so that was in 2011. We sort of went for it, we as my husband and I, and we just sort of went for it. And so
8 years in the making, 4 years since then, that's 12 years in the making. So not only are you an expert on human trafficking, you're a fashion expert as well?
No, so that's really kind of the interesting part. I didn't have a social work background or a fashion design background. I'm really sort of the entrepreneur part of it. So I really threw myself into learning 2 different systems and demographics, and really educating myself both about the fashion industry as well as the anti-trafficking community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have an interesting business helping the community and fashion. Sounds like California Health and Fitness is the new best friend, huh?
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit more about yourself. I mean, if you're running this foundation, human trafficking, I guess that's a separate question. It happens all over the world, right?
Yes.
How do you find time to enjoy time with your husband, to have some fun while you're trying to save the world all the time?
Yeah, so it's really easy when you're passionate about something and you care about making a difference, and it's really easy to become sort of overwhelmed and burdened by the cause.
Almost consumed, huh?
Yeah, and so you have to take a healthy perspective back, and you have to understand that God has given everybody life to enjoy it. And so it's something that we say, life for the free is to be enjoyed. So we have events that, raise awareness, and all of them are fun and super, super high creative. They're interactive, but we need to use our freedom to help others have theirs.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our life mantra. So you do have to be able to make sure you invest in, I have 2 little kids, and so we make sure we do date nights, kind of.
It's really interesting because you said healthy earlier. So, when you're referring to healthy, you're referring to the balance of your life, your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So who knew supporting a nonprofit or supporting such a cool cause or foundation would be health or beneficial to your health?
Well, I think this is my personal perspective, I think when we don't live for ourselves and we really live for something other than ourselves, and that can be a lot of factors. That adds to our mental health for sure. It makes us become alive. It gives us a purpose and an identity beyond ourselves. And so that really adds to your mental stability and health. And so, yeah, absolutely. When we give, we get so much more in return.
And it doesn't matter what part of your life you're in, that kind of fulfillment or that, helping other people, it really creates some endorphins and some happiness either way.
Sure.
You could be super successful in life and everyth's going your way, or you could have absolutely nothing's going your way, and you still get some time, help out a good cause, and it makes you feel great.
Right.
You said you have 2 kids?
I have 2 little ones.
Tell me about them.
They're the best things that ever happened to me. So Christopher, my son, who is 7, he has just officially entered into boyhood. He broke his arm last week. So
sports injury.
Well,
liking?
In my world, yes, he was trying to skateboard on a garment rack.
Yeah.
So we had a garment rack, and it of course has wheels, and that looks like fun and adventure.
Where's he at? I want
and
him
so
as a guest.
he, was wheeling around, and I didn't stop him because life is supposed to be fun. I did say don't go too fast, but so yeah, that happened. So we have a bright orange cast on him, and Symphony is my daughter who's 4, who is just spice of life, man. She is she's like a pistol and absolute sweetness, all in one package.
I didn't even hear any sort of bitterness or any sort of negativity in that statement. You didn't even make a joke about not sleeping or not having time. So it sounds like you really are a great parent. You enjoy your kids.
Oh my gosh.
You love being around them?
Yeah, and of course parenting's hard and it comes with its challenges, but I thank God really for all those moments, because I know I have family and I have friends who can't have kids, and so you better believe I'm grateful for every single minute. I love it. Love being a mom.
A big thing, or a big theme of today's show is helping out community outreach and actually role models, because today we actually did our own event, and I can't wait to show you that at the end. We're going to save that to the end.
Okay.
Show you pictures. I promised our viewers that we would be reaching out to the community. It's only our 3rd episode, and we've already executed. So.
Oh, nice way to do it. Okay, it's delivering.
But going back to your kids, what do you do? What do you do to guide, your kids in the right direction, or find a positive role model, or someone that you look up to, and they look up to? Not some, crazy person in the media that is just publicized too much, and they happen to look up to that person for no reason.
Well, I'm probably a fairly conservative parent as far as what I let them watch and see. We do talk about positive role models. We sing songs about, good guys always win, bad guys always lose. And so I think it's really in every single day, scenarios where you have to teach into everything. It's a lot of work up front, but the residual is so far more beneficial. So so it's a constant teaching and learning. And of course, our first role model for our family is God and Jesus. And there's so many great stories of trials and tribulations, and where things weren't fair and didn't look right, and still God's good.
You still kept that faith, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. So what are they into? What are their hobbies right now?
Oh, geez.
Skateboarding, obviously.
Well, yeah, on garment racks. I don't know. We're kind of we call ourselves Ohana, so that's something kind of cool about us. So Ohana means family, and family means you never get left behind or forgotten. So we're kind of really into Ohana. We're really into,
that's a really cool quote.
Doing stuff together.
That's a really cool quote.
Well, we did steal it from Disney, so Lilo and Stitch.
That's okay. At least you give them credit right there.
Lilo and Stitch.
That's awesome. I love Lilo and Stitch. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great
we're
movie.
Ohana.
Right on. And your daughter, what's she into?
She is into, I said earlier, she's all pistol and everything sweet, and so she's really
Power Rangers, TV,
she's into
coloring.
princesses, full into princesses, and dressing up all the time. She would dress up 5 times a day, and then she's also the first kid to hop in the mud. So she's
nice.
She is into Hello Kitty. We name her Hello Ninny, but she's into Hello Kitty and the kitchen, her little toy kitchen and things of that nature. But she's into playing in the dirt.
We got a happy wife. We got a son, a daughter. Do we have a dog?
No, but I will tell you that
You're 4 for 5 out of the perfect American family right there. The American dream family.
I know, just need a golden retriever, huh?
No, my son, we found a bunny. There's kind of a ponding basin in our area, and so my son went bunny hunting, and he caught a bunny. So we now have butter for about 2 weeks. So we have a bunny
Super cool.
who has added to our Ohana.
a couple minutes left. Something that's very important for me to ask my nonprofit guests is, you've been out researching and working to make the world a better place. What can we do to make the Central Valley a better place? Or what do you have planned or have observed that
I think honestly, I know it sounds a little cliche, but it really is so true. It's education.
Education, that's what I'm talking about.
When we can educate ourselves and choose to sort of get out of our comfort zone. Human trafficking, it's really heavy. It's really easy to be like, oh my, and we've been told that in our community that's too heavy of a topic for you to come and share, And so when we can kind of get beyond ourselves and understand that, that's a stinking horrific thing, but we can do something about it, and we ought to, because we have the ability to. So I think it's educating yourself and getting involved with, an organization like MadeForThem. We need mentors, we need support.
A lot of the time, your time's more valuable than the money that you can give.
Well, like I said, the women that we work with, they need mentors. They need, stable people. If you have, a talent or a treasure that you could, more of a talent that you'd like to offer, we have different classes that you can come in and kind of do once a year.
You know what I would really like to do with you in the future is set up almost a big buddy or role model program through us, that we could kind of connect kids in the community with some of our guests that are looking to help out with that. That would be really cool.
Well, we're looking and building a prevention program. Prevention's huge to reach the kids before they even get to an organization like mine.
That's cool.
Like let's work on them now before they even have to come see us.
I heard you say you're a conservative parent, but at the same time, you've introduced your kids to a heavy topic such as human trafficking. So what do you keep your kids away from? How do you differentiate what you expose them to and what you don't?
Sort of southeast Fresno, so we've got lots of homeless people in our neighborhood. So our kids are pretty well versed culturally in that form. They are compassionate. That there's people who have needs. We sponsor a child. My son is pretty cool through World Vision, and he has a brother who is his same age and same birth date, and so he was very aware that he has a lot. We don't have a lot compared to some people in our community for sure, but compared to the majority of the world, we're very rich.
There's a lot for a kid being able to see that. I think that's kind of how I was exposed to it at a young age. So MadeForThem.org. It's a nonprofit. Where else can we find you? You got a Facebook?
Well, we have Art of Freedom coming up this Sunday.
Yes.
So we would love for people to come and see us this Sunday.
The date will be what? October
25th.
25th. And what time is that
at?
at?
Afternoon. It's an amazing hands-on art experience. If you haven't been, you need to come. It's a blast.
Yeah, I will see you there. Okay. Miss, it was so good talking to you.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate
Thanks for having
it. You guys
me.
go
I really
buy one of these cool V-necks from MadeForThem.org, all right? You guys coming back? One of my good friends that happens to be a giant monster, Brian Cage. I can't wait. We'll be right back. California Health and Fitness.
The Exeter Chamber of Commerce invites you to come on over to the